Hey, Krista.
Hey, Lily.
Did you know in your lifetime you'll pass a murderer 36 times?
I did. And you know why?
Why?
Because we're 36 Times, a Canadian true crime podcast which covers crimes in the Great White North.
Oh, right.
Every episode, we focus on a major crime and then we lighten things up with a kooky one.
We talk about everything from the criminal justice system itself to animals arguably not doing what they should, bringing you true crime with a shot of maple syrup.
Catch our episodes bi-weekly on iTunes or your favorite, that's favorite with a U, podcast app.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet. And happy 2018 to everybody listening. You're listening to the Intoxicated podcast, your weekly drunk podcast with some heart. And my name is Sarah. If you're new to the show, generally speaking, I have friends on. We usually drink an alcohol of their choice and we talk about life. This week is a bit different. This is a sober episode, all around sober. Don't worry, guys, we got lots of drinking ones coming up very soon, but I wanted to do something really different this week, as it is the first episode of 2018. This week, I have two different clips from two different readings I had done. Now, the first reading, I actually got together with my friend Hannah. Now, Hannah and I knew each other from a while back. We haven't hung out in a long, long time. I actually put on Facebook that I want to do some sort of reading as sort of a predictions for 2018 type of deal. And Hannah reached out to me and told me that she actually does I Ching readings. Now, for those who don't know, I'm not a big expert on it, but essentially the I Ching is a collection of wisdom that originates in ancient China, and it's one of the oldest Chinese classical texts. It's essentially a book called the Book of Changes. And the reading is really, really cool. It involves flipping coins and meditation and putting together a hexagram and then looking up what that hexagram means. It was really, really, really cool. And doing the reading aside, I got to catch up with an old friend. Hannah is an absolute sweetheart. She's a really smart girl. It was really, really nice to get together and chat and catch up and do this reading together. Probably the first time I've ever meditated in my entire life, and I actually really enjoyed it. There's actually two parts in the clip with Hannah where we do meditate for about 10 minutes. And obviously I cut it down, so if you do notice a slight pause, that's when we were meditating. But obviously I'm not going to keep in 10 minutes of silence. It was really, really, really cool and fascinating. I asked about the podcast, and I also asked about some love life stuff. So we actually got into a pretty good discussion all about dating, as well as her and I are both dating right now, or at least we're trying to. So I want to say thanks to Hannah because it was a great experience, and I hope to have her back on. About the last 18 minutes of the show, I actually went to Broom Closet Tarot. It is a local tarot reading shop here in Halifax. It's part of what's called the Neighbourhood Witch General Store. And I sat down with Kelly, and Kelly was absolutely awesome. I had so much fun. She was totally cool to record, which was amazing. And we did a little 15-minute reading all about my love life. So if you want to find out what's in store for me for 2018, stick around till the end and make sure you do hear the tarot card reading. It was really, really interesting. If you are in the Halifax area, do make sure you do check out Broom Closet Tarot if you are interested in having a reading. You can actually get a bunch of different readings done there, so definitely check them out if that's something you're interested in. And I gotta say, I know a lot of people have their opinions on psychics and tarot readings. I've always just thought it was really cool. I am someone who still takes it with a grain of salt, but I will say this was one of the most accurate tarot card readings that I've ever had, and I've had a couple in my life. I tend to do it almost every year. I'll treat myself to it, and even though this was a short reading, it was really, really accurate. And one thing I will say, if anything, when you have these readings, it forces you to kind of take a look into yourself a little bit. As cheesy as that sounds, you almost realize things that you didn't realize before. I will say, it's kind of cool because there were some common themes with both readings. Both readings definitely mentioned change, which is interesting because the I Ching is the book of changes. Change also came up in my tarot card reading with Kelly. So it's pretty cool, especially since I mentioned in my last episode that I really do think I'm coming into this new phase of being more confident and being more proud of who I am. And I think that did reflect in the readings. Now, I will say, with Hannah's reading, wasn't so positive on the love life stuff, but you'll have to listen to find out what she said about that. So again, guys, super interesting. I had a blast with this one. I hope to do more things like this going forward. I think it's really cool. So if you do have any suggestions for stuff like this that I could do or people I could talk to, certainly let me know. As per usual, do make sure you do go subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews. For new listeners, Intoxicated Reviews is a separate channel we have under Intoxicated, hosted by my friend Corey, and it's all about TV and movies. And let me tell you guys, Corey has an episode that should be up as of now. It is his best of 2017 in TV and movies. So this is a more detailed look into TV and movies from Corey's perspective. Our last episode was kind of a Sparks Notes version of what he has here. So make sure you check that out. Also, make sure you are following us on all social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast, on Twitter at @in_toxicated. You can email us your thoughts, your feedback, questions, anything you want to our email address at intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com, and check out our website, which is intoxicatedpodcast.com. And that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. So guys, this is the Intoxicated Podcast, and I'm here with a very special guest. Yes. I'm here with my friend Hannah, who invited me over today to learn about I Ching, and we're actually going to do a reading on I Ching. So say hi, Hannah.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for doing this.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I wanted to do something to end the year off, and kind of going into 2018. This will probably come out at the beginning of the month of 2018. So I wanted to just kind of, on a personal level, but also for the podcast, maybe get some insight in what 2018 has to bring. And initially I thought tarot. And I actually put a call out on Facebook being like, does anybody know how to read tarot cards that can do it? And you actually messaged me and you said, oh, I don't do tarot, but I do I Ching. And I was like, tell me all about it. So I don't know anything about it at all. I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly?
I Ching or I Ching. I don't exactly know. I think it's I Ching. But it originally is like an ancient Chinese philosophy, basically. Ooh. And it all has to do, basically, with the yin and the yang, the positive, negative, the dark and light, and like the balance between those things.
Oh, awesome.
And that's like the roots, basic of what it is. But what it entails is throwing 3 coins, which I have them here. Usually it's sort of like tarot cards. Sometimes people who have their cards don't like other people to touch them. So I prefer not to have other people touch them.
I'm not going to touch them at all.
Okay, because they kind of, I don't know, they're supposed to, you use the same coins over the time and they kind of get to know the energies and whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a little spiritual, as well.
I'm all about it. I'm all about those things.
Yeah, so you see the coins, I'm going to show them to Sarah here, but they're they've got 2 sides. They've got some symbols kind of carved into each side, and one side, like, for the purpose, I don't know, one of them represents positive, one of them represents negative. I don't remember which one's which.
Okay.
But, yeah. So I'll just kind of walk you through how a reading works.
Yeah.
So basically, it starts out, like, by meditating, more or less. Like, it's really to me, it is kind of like a meditative process to help you kind of calm down and then, breathe, think about whatever issues are, bothering you.
Okay.
And it almost, just by doing that, almost helps you realize the solution to your problem.
Interesting.
By itself. But then, but I also find that, throwing the coins can further, help you determine, I know what decision I want to make now, or,
right.
Or maybe something that I wasn't sure.
Reaffirm something.
Yeah. Or I guess what I've understood about it is, the spiritual side of it is like through throwing the coins and getting an answer back, the coins kind of can connect you with the energies all around us and kind of see all the aspects affecting your situation that you may not be aware of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when people do I Ching readings, or I Ching, I should probably find out what this...
I think we're going to go with I Ching, if that's
I
okay.
Ching.
Yeah.
Is it more... Like, because I kind of asked you before I came over here about should I have a specific question, or should I just kind of think broadly about an area of my life that I'm wondering?
The question is actually part of kind of important. Like, coming up with the right question is like almost just as important.
Yes.
And going through the process of figuring out, okay, what is the root question of what I really need to know here? That also kind of helps you figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question really does need to be really simple, like almost like yes or no. Like, you can't do, I'm really thinking about 2 different jobs, but I don't know which job to pick. You can't ask, should I pick this job or this job?
Right.
You should ask, would it be best for me to go with this job?
Exactly.
And just be specific.
And then by that you can determine the other one's not good.
Or you can ask 2 different questions, one about the one job, and then ask another one about the next job.
Got you. I can't ask, what's the name of my future husband?
No, you're not getting anything like that. It's almost like advice giving.
I like that better.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you go to psychic readings or anything like that, and you get when you get things that are too specific, it's almost like you're then just waiting for that to happen. Whereas when insight is a little more general and a little more, I don't want to use the word vague because that implies that it's not good, but like more general, it's more insightful in a way because you can apply it in different areas of
I guess on one hand, I do have to say, there are people like cranks out there or whatever who can claim to be, psychics, but actually are using, really good body language reading or whatever it is. But, on the other hand, I do think there is some credibility to sort of the spiritual energies. And if you do get a reading that's like, maybe more general, then you can maybe think, how does this apply to my own life? How can I take this? And
exactly. Yeah. No, exactly. And I think too, it's like, I don't get a lot of specifics when I have readings, but like I will get common themes that come up through all the readings that I have, which is like, that in and of itself is really
crazy. Say something interesting. Yeah. I'm curious now what we'll get out of
I know. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. That would
I should say as well that you and I are friends, but we're not like mega close friends.
Yeah, we used to be kind of, I guess, acquaintances. Like, we see each other at parties with mutual friends a lot. And then we kind of drifted away and stopped seeing each other. Yeah. And we still I see you on Facebook, updates with your podcast and whatnot.
And it's what I think is really cool about this. And I'm going to get cheesy here, y'all. The podcast has made me reconnect with people. Like, people who might have fallen, I'd fallen out of touch with. Yeah. And it's really, really neat because I'll put things out there and people will message me, like people that I would never think would want to do it. Will message me and be like, I'm down to hang out and talk about this. And I'm like, this is really cool because not only am I getting an awesome episode out of it, but I'm like reconnecting with old friends, which is really, really neat. So I'm very happy we're doing this.
I agree. I think it's an awesome vehicle for bringing people together.
It really, really is. It's kind of selfish in a way. But let's get into it.
All right. So I guess the first thing to do is to think about the question. Okay. The area that you want to ask. Like, you want to really ask about a general 2018, what to think about going into 2018 type of thing?
And I think let's start it off by focusing on the podcast maybe. So this avenue, podcast. Like I guess you could call it like creative initiatives. And I guess my question would be, I've had the podcast for almost a year and I'm really, really enjoying it, but I'm just kind of thinking in terms of like, is it going to grow? Is it going to be bigger than what it is now?
Okay, so you want to know whether it's going to grow, or you want to know whether, like, do you want it to grow?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, but you just are worried that it might not go the way you want it to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm worried that I'm not getting new listeners. I'm worried that it's kind of staying within friend groups and not necessarily getting out there in terms of new listeners. I'm trying to think of it in terms of a question.
Yeah, no, I'm good. This is good. Like, I just need the information. I can kind of help the question part. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what you're kind of going at is like,
is the hard work going to reflect in terms of download numbers? Which is kind of selfish.
How can we
say
phrase
that?
This?
Yeah.
Let me just think for a minute. Sometimes it takes me a minute to just
100%
think for a sec here. But I'm just gonna write down the date. What I do, I'm just telling the listeners what I'm doing.
Yes.
I have a little notebook where I keep all my readings so that, in theory, sometimes you want to go back and say...
Go back.
And say, oh my gosh, that came true.
Yeah.
Or whatever, maybe.
I guess it's just kind of like I'm wondering about... When I started the podcast... I'm the girl who quits everything. Like, when I used to be little, I would take horseback riding lessons, I would take music lessons, and I would quit all the time.
You just, start things and not finish them? Okay.
And and this is something that I didn't quit. I'm really proud of myself for not quitting.
Yeah.
So I guess going into 2018, I have all these crazy ideas for what to do. Mm-hmm. And... sometimes when you're in this creative state of mind, you're just wondering, should I go with my gut or should I go with what's safe? So maybe that's a better question. In terms of the podcast.
So you think that there are some risks you could be taking that you're not taking, or you could be going further with it, but you're not sure?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I get you.
Right. I could play it safe and do what I know works and continue with that, or I could maybe do... new things that I kind of had in my mind.
Okay, so this is where we are at the either or. So now we just have to zero in on one. So I'm just going to try to phrase a question, which is, I'm going to take my time here for a second. Would it be, so I would say, would it be best for, I don't know if I want to say for Sarah, or would it be best for Sarah's podcast? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, would it be best for Sarah? Because that's kind of what we want to know. So...
I'm being selfish here, guys. I want to know about my future. What I should be doing.
That's what these readings are all about.
Because you said it is kind of more advice-based.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be a specific person, a specific subject.
Right.
Okay, so would it be best for Sarah to put more effort into the podcast?
That's a good one. That's a good way to say it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a side hustle.
Yeah.
And I think...
it's not like your full-time job that's making you lots of money,
And it's I could make it that, is the thing.
if you wanted to reinvest
So in a way,
yourself.
in a way the question is kind of...
Effort and energy into her podcast in 2018.
That's a good way.
Question mark, yeah. So I think we came up with a pretty good question.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I meditate a little bit, I sometimes sort of adjust the question in my mind and then... But usually it comes out with a...
But you kind of get what I'm getting at.
I totally get what you're getting at. So now that we have their question, which is half of the battle in the I Ching process in my mind, now we kind of get to start this sort of fun part, which is where all we're going to do is we're just going to be silent. This is going to be super boring for the people listening. We're just going to breathe.
This is the time when white noise is good.
Yeah. So just sit in your cross-legged position and just close your eyes and just breathe deep and slow. And all you have to do is just think about your question. And just, think about the situation.
Okay.
And then I'll do the rest. And then I'm going to basically throw the coins 6 times. And each time I throw the coins, I write down whatever the result was. And then at the end of the 6 throws, then we can sort of... put them aside and go to the book. I have a little book that helps me interpret.
She does.
It's
the Living I Ching.
Yeah.
Or the I Ching book.
I Ching book.
Right.
Or, yeah, the Living I Ching. This is another book I have I haven't read yet. But
it's big.
It's huge. My dad gave it to me, and it's all about the history of the I Ching and super details about each of the different hexagrams you get. Which I can teach you about after we get one.
Perfect.
Sure.
Okay, so now I have to do something that's very hard for myself and be quiet.
Be quiet. Yeah, please do not distract as I am working.
So and you'll just tell me when
I'll tell you when it's done. Yeah, we'll just be quiet. It might take seriously might take 10 minutes. So
that's okay.
Okay.
I can just have a nap.
Concentrate on your question and meditate.
Wouldn't be the first time I have 10 minutes of silence.
Okay.
That was nice.
Wow. It was a nice little sip.
Oh my god, yeah.
So what I just did was I threw the coins 6 times, and each side of the coin, for the purposes of this book of interpretation, you either add 2 or 3. So 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So any result that you get is either going to be added up to 6, 7, 8, or 9. Whatever. I forget what the numbers are. But anyways, so then 6, 7, 8, or 9. So even numbers are represented by a broken line. You build up from the bottom. Each time you throw the coins, you write the result, and you build up from the bottom to the top till you have
Oh, cool.
A hexagram consisting of 6 lines, either broken or unbroken.
Right.
And each half of this hexagram is referred to as a trigram. Mm-hmm. I'm going to teach you about I Ching because each trigram has a meaning, a name.
Got ya.
And this thing has a chart that tells me all their names, and they're all in Chinese. And so what I do, I see the bottom trigram that we have arrived at for Sarah was actually 3 broken lines, which is Kun, or Kun, I'm not sure. Anyways, and then the top trigram we got is 2 solid lines and 1 broken line. As like the broken line at the top, 2 solid lines on the bottom. And so on this chart, that gives us hexagram number 45. So the result of the answer is hexagram number 45. So before I look at the answer, before I even open the page, actually, I like to make sure I'm on the right page. And then
that's very important.
First, I just double check it. And then I just look at the title. Okay, so the title of this hexagram is called Gathering. And the picture, it's got a little picture of like a person laying bricks and mortar. Sometimes the pictures are useful, sometimes not. But it's just like, the interpretation of this book. But I like Gathering just because sometimes that alone just tells me a little bit of like the text and a little bit of the idea of what this context is.
It's kind of like when you get the tarot card and it's like the Lovers or like it has a title.
Of. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, each one has its own name, I'll give you some examples of names.
Yeah.
Restraining, being cautious, disharmony, great weight, duration, relating, fire.
Okay, yeah.
There's all kinds. This one's Gathering. And so before I kind of give my interpretation, I silently read what the book has to say, and then I kind of, so I'm just
put it in your own words.
So I'm just going to read it. Okay. Sorry, I'm making faces, and you're probably like...
I'm trying not to look.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
I'm just like, very interesting. Okay. This is actually pretty cool. So I'll just, I'll read it out loud now that I've read it. So it's actually kind of straightforward and interesting. So it says, the image here, so usually it starts with like breaking down the hexagrams. So like, each of them kind of represents an element. So like the joyous lake, so like the top hexagram I guess represents the lake, and the bottom hexagram represents the earth, the receptive earth. So it's an image of water gathering into a vast mass. So there is a warning that this is a potentially hazardous time. The water could overflow, so containment is important. Large gatherings, whether they be, for example, of people in a city or possessions in the home, must always be kept in order or chaos and anarchy will ensue. In your situation, you require a steady hand and a clear head in order to maintain stability. Any project you undertake now can succeed only if all those involved are of one mind. Any dissension will lead to collapse. At the heart of this hexagram lies the idea of dedication, without which any group activity is bound to fail. The pivotal point of any group is also a crucial factor. If the leader is not dedicated or there's a lack of commitment to the leader, the situation will collapse. So that seems pretty clear. Like it's kind of like if you want to do it and you are super dedicated and willing to put in the work and effort to do it, and you have, people who you want to help you are on board with you, then yes, you will succeed.
But it's like all about dedication, really.
It's all about, you just have to really, if you're going to do it, like, put your all into it and make sure that, like, the people whose resources you need in order to support the project are going to be there. Like, if you're counting on someone to be there to do something, and they're just like, actually, I can't do that. You don't want to, like, then your project can fall apart. Like, so that's the thing I guess it's trying to say, but, like, obviously you have all these resources already in place because you've been doing it for a year, so hopefully...
If we just stick with that, then I should be good. And I think that that's important because I do have a partner in crime. And he and I, like, we're very on the same page all the time. We always do weekly check-ins to be like, what are you doing? What am I doing? Let's be under the same umbrella. Like...
Okay, so
it's all about communication.
So if you're both like the leaders of the podcast, then it's extremely important that you both want to go into it 100%. Like if you do, he has to too. Like
exactly. Otherwise, it's gonna get messy.
And that's kind of that's kind of generic advice. That's pretty clear. Like but I kind of like the I Ching that it tells you because it's like these are the pitfalls you should watch out for in this situation. Kind of like
and I love that it's gathering. Because right before we did this, we talked about how it brings people together.
Yeah. And I noticed in here that it had been talking about large gatherings, whether it be people. So, like, for example, your large listener base.
Exactly.
Which could become larger and larger, and without a clear, like, vision and, you know, clear goals and whatnot, it might get out of control, you know?
Yeah.
You want things to be controlled chaos and not just anarchy.
Exactly. And I think, too, where it's like I do talk about my emotions on the show as well.
Yeah,
there's ways you can...
too.
Exactly. Yeah. There's ways you can present that's logical and not overly emotional. And then it doesn't come off as I'm just someone who's ranting on the internet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like, I mean, any type of media you put out, I feel, personally, like, you have to have a reason for saying what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. I think that's so cool.
Cool. And I have a little bit more to show you, because there's a second sort of mini step you can do, which is the changing lines.
Okay.
So the idea behind, like, whatever the numbers I said were, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever they are that, like, if I have a 6, that's, like, the farthest to the left you can get. So it's the broken line that's on the furthest side of the yin or the yang, whichever side. Sorry.
Got you, yeah.
And it's just about to swing back over. Like, it's, like, things go back and forth, they balance out, they change. It's always changing. So nothing is static, staying in place forever, right? So that's 6. That it's a 6 right now, it's a negative line right now, it's gonna eventually switch over to the positive. So that means this one is sort of ready to switch, but these ones in the middle, they're like more in the middle, they're more stable, they're not
broken.
They're not well, you can have
solid
broken
lines.
You can have broken lines that are in the middle and on the side, and solid lines that are in the middle and the side. Anyway.
Gotcha.
So anyways, you've got a 6 and a 9, and those are the two changing lines. 69.
69!
That means nothing in this context, but yeah.
Damn it! Should have asked a different question.
No. So yeah, really what I do in this case, you've got 888796 is what we've got. So 8s stay the same, broken. 7 stays the same as a solid line. The 9 changes from a solid line into a broken line, and the 6 changes from a broken line into a solid line. So now we've got a whole new hexagram, which is broken, solid. And now this is the sort of future vision.
Okay, I love it.
A little bit. It's sort of like if things continue, you know, with this in mind, like what will
come out of it?
What will be the fruits? Yeah, sort of thing. And sometimes I find mixed results on this one, but let's see what it says. This particular one, this changed one, gives us 35, which is the progress. That's a positive result you're getting here.
Oh my God.
That's nice. So it just says, it's the image of the sun rising above a clear sky.
That's nice.
Let's see. So it's still got the earth on the bottom, because obviously that one didn't change, but that's this changed from water to the sun, I guess. So let's see. It's the implication is that this is a time when you can make speedy and unimpeded progress. The image of the brilliant light of a dawning sun spreading over the landscape also implies that this is a good time for progress. The yang, or male, fire, lies above the yin, or female, passive earth. Okay, so broken lines are yin, female, passive. Solid lines are yang, male. Okay. Just made that. Okay.
That's really cool.
And then it says, this means that the situation can be nurtured and strengthened through compromise and a willingness to yield on both sides. Under such circumstances, good communication is vital. It is also important not to put your own needs too much to the fore. If you look more to the needs of others, the sun will shine down on you and you will be able to help others in the most positive way possible.
Damn!
So that sounds like a freaking good
mic
reading.
drop! That's
awesome!
Wow, that is so cool.
I would say this I Ching is highly encouraging you in your podcast right now.
Oh my God. Well, how about that, guys?
That's awesome.
So I should just keep going with it and keep her going.
Keep your good intentions and all that stuff.
Good intentions, yes.
Yeah, and think of the others, all the good you're doing for all the listeners and the people you're talking to. And
I think that's so cool, because I started it being like, I want it to be a comedy podcast. I just want it to be fun. And I started getting into this phase of like, I want to cover harder topics, mental health, eating disorders, like body image, confidence, self-esteem, like, and there's still ways you can do that to make it funny and fun. But it kind of reached a point this year where I was like, I really like the idea of covering these topics to help other people.
Totally.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, just
so
like break down the walls and just have the discussion.
Have an honest conversation about it.
Yeah.
So can I do one more?
Sure, yeah, we can
do one
another
more.
Sure.
Can we do a love life one?
Okay.
I'll make it general.
Boy.
I'll make it
Okay,
general.
let's see. Let me write this down.
Question is how can I do it in a question?
Okay, so I guess this is the question. So, about your love life, what is it that you're wondering?
Is it ever going to happen?
So, I thought you were like single, Sarah. I thought you
I've
loved
been single
being
for 6 years.
I know you've been single a long
Yeah.
time. I've been single a long time too.
High five. I guess I'm like really wanting a connection with somebody. And I guess I would say in this last half of this year, I've started really trying to make an effort to meet new people.
Yeah.
Like, through online dating.
Yeah.
And
I've seen
really
your updates on that too, yeah.
and mostly
pitfalls
bad.
involved, yes.
So I guess advice on how I could better open myself up to new people, maybe, to potentially
how to
meet someone
who actually clicks with you.
Yeah, because I'm doing the online thing, and that's not working.
Yeah.
And I'm emotionally with myself, opening myself up now. I used to be very closed off to it, and just be like, I don't want to do online, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And I'm alone. So, I no longer want to be alone.
Yes, I understand that.
I'm
feeling.
more comfortable with myself than I've ever been in my life.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I guess I'm just wondering, what things can I do going forward that might make the chances of meeting someone higher?
Huh, okay. Well, I was like, wait, she's not
I've
asking
bamboozled her.
Hannah, the dating expert. Wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can tell me if you want. We can talk about it.
Well, let's see. I would love to have a conversation about it, actually, because I
really?
myself have been dipping my hand into the dating pool of the apps and whatnot. Yeah, I just started. I actually might be going on a date tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm actually pretty excited about
You should do a reading. Do you do readings on yourself?
I do them, yeah.
Yeah?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, because you could. Like, you're the one flipping the coin.
Yeah.
If anything, your readings might be stronger. Because
It's interesting. As I did them more and more, kind of over the years, I found that I started getting better readings for other people than even for myself, strangely enough. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's more objective or something.
that's very true.
But when I do them for myself, usually I'll only ask the question if I'm really, upset about something or I really don't know what to do or confused. And
Got you.
yeah, but generally I trust my own instincts pretty well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't try to you never want to abuse the power or take advantage or just do it as a party trick or something like that. You gotta sort of take it sort of seriously as well. So
Totally.
yeah.
And that's the thing is this, when I ask this question, I'm not really asking, am I ever going to find anyone? It's more of
I know you want to know, I know exactly what you mean. You've been trying all these different things.
Nothing's working. I'm not
nothing's working.
I feel like I'm not making a mark on anyone. And that's usually how I put it. It's kind of sad. But I don't lack personality.
No, you do not. Definitely.
So, I don't think that that's my problem.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm boring people, but it's more of I think there certainly was a time where I was closed off because I was not liking myself.
You don't like to share your own insecurities with other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now I'm learning to love myself.
Yeah.
And so I guess I thought, since I'm learning to love myself, that's just going to attract people. And it's not.
Well, okay. Here. Before I do any I Ching stuff, I'm going to give you my advice.
Yes, please.
And my thoughts on this.
Please give me it.
Well, yeah. Basically, I do think you're on the right track. Actually, first step is, if you don't love yourself, how the hell can you love anyone else?
It's such a cliche and so true.
Yeah, it's so completely true. I read an amazing book my brother recommended to me called, I think it's called The
Untethered. Is it The Untethered Soul?
No,
I've read that one.
It's something like loving your vulnerabilities. I forget. I'm sorry. This lady who wrote it is really, really great. Brene Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
People can look it up.
Brene Brown. She's amazing. She did a TED Talk anyway. But it's all about how it's basically impossible to create a real connection with someone unless you put out your vulnerabilities, see each other's flaws, and then embrace each other for them or in spite of them, or, I guess, like...
Totally.
Yeah, because you can't really know somebody unless, like, so you can marry someone who you know the surface of them, they're really attractive, but really, you know what kind of wine they like or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't know what they really care about or whatever.
The deep down stuff, the values.
Yeah. And those things are, like, extremely important in a relationship.
So important.
To just know the other person and be able to trust them and...
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, sidetrack. But, I think, like, the first thing you're doing, like, you're doing correct things. It's, like, it's so stupid and so annoying that it takes such a long time and so much work. But it only takes one person.
Not for everyone, though. And
That's what's frustrating,
That's what's really frustrating for me. It's like, I'm good with myself now. I'm self-deprecating. That is my humor. People are just going to have to deal with that. I'm never going to stop being self-deprecating. But I do truly think I'm in a really good spot in terms of self-esteem right now. And it's just frustrating, too, because it's like people are always just like, well, just don't want it, and it will happen. And it's like, no, sorry.
You're
like
seeming like you're desperate or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, I'm never not going to want it.
No.
I've been alone for 6 years. Like,
honestly, okay. We're both 30 years old now.
Yes.
I literally felt the switch flip when I turned 30, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's time to, like, get serious.
Time to focus on it. If you want it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what? There's no need for or time for, like, not being honest and clear and straightforward, you know?
100%.
Like, if you say, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, let's, meet, see if we get along, and, maybe go on a second date, and that's all we need to confirm from there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And if you're going to grow a relationship, that's something that happens naturally, and it grows by spending time together and doing things together and talking, and it's not something that you can force. Like,
so true.
So I think that if you find... the one person, after messaging all the douchebags and all the weeding through all the slime and guck,
These are the correct words to use.
Yeah, exactly.
This is so true.
You might find, I'm feeling pretty optimistic because I feel pretty happy about this guy I'm seeing tonight. But, maybe, you might find just the one person you need, because you only need one person out of all these different people, who sees you and says, oh, I want to get to know you more.
Yeah.
You seem cool.
It's so true. And I really do need to be more patient, but I guess...
That's the problem. Patience, yeah.
And that very well could come up in this reading, like, just be more patient. But it's just... I just want to know what other things I can do.
Yeah.
Whether that be meeting new people, giving people chances when I shouldn't. I don't know.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Right.
There's a lot of talk. I think when you're single for so long, there's a lot of talk of your standards are too high. And then your standards are too low.
It's too difficult. Yeah, it's just so much, like, everyone has their opinion and...
How am I...
But it's kind of like if you meet somebody and you just, like, you don't really feel a thrill out of your conversation, well, obviously that's not the right person that you want to go on a second date with, so...
Very, very true.
It's like, how can you be being picky if it's like... You want to find someone who you enjoy their company.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes not easy to find, unfortunately, but,
So essentially I want to know, I guess, if it's coming and how do I get there?
Yes. Okay. Ooh.
And this doesn't have to be boyfriend. It doesn't have to be...
You just want to know...
Future husband.
You just want to know ways of getting out there more and maximizing your chances of meeting the right person.
Exactly. Yeah. To connect with someone, and keyword being romantically. Because I connect with a lot of friends. I connect with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I want, like, a romantic connection.
Yeah.
And a sexual connection.
Yeah.
Because it's easy otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. This is something that I don't feel like I can be the expert on, so the I Ching might help us both here.
Ooh, perfect.
Let's see. How do we ask?
It might be a good thing to going into your date, too.
Yeah. Who knows? All right, let me see. But I'm going to say, specific to Sarah, though, because this is for Sarah.
Because I don't got a date.
No, not you still have all your Bumbles and your Tinder.
That's true.
Though, right? Let's see, though.
I don't have any plan yet, but I mean, they're there if I want them.
Yeah, you can always sit down and swipe a few. All right. Let me think. Okay. So we would ask something like, okay, I always like to say something like the path that would bring you to the most satisfaction and happiness, or like what would be the best way for Sarah to
bring love into her life.
Maybe attract
a romantic partner.
Okay, let me see. Let me just
even
start
better,
this down.
romantic connection.
Sounds okay.
I think that sounds good.
I feel just a little. Hang on. I just feel like hot for some reason.
Really?
Is it hot in here?
I don't find it.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I just feel like flushed. I don't know if I look like a red face or something.
No, not at all.
Interesting.
Is it the spirit guides being like...
They're in me.
The spirit guides are like, you want to go here, Hannah? This is going to open up a can of worms.
Oh, Lord. All right, universe, what do you got for us here?
It's weird. Mm-hmm. And I'll just say this because you just said that you're feeling flushed. Like, when I've gone to psychics... and I've asked about the love life area, they always tend to get emotional. And I don't know why. It's this weird thing of like, I had a psychic like look at my palm and start to cry once. I was like, this is not a good sign.
Oh my God. I'm curious now. I don't read palms, but I'm like, let me see. No.
I don't really know. I know that one line is like a love line. I don't know.
I do know a teeny bit about him, actually.
One of them is...
interesting.
Like a lifeline.
I'm actually seeing a couple things. I'm like, I know what that means. Just a couple. Just like
is it left hand?
One thing is the fact that... oh, well, no, I guess mine do that too. Just like the way you're holding your hand, your fingers go back. I think that's something that means like you're sociable and like open to people. Like, something like that. Something like that.
That's me.
Yeah. This has something to do with your friends, but I don't know what that means. This is like allegedly you're gonna have 2 children.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, but like, I don't know all the lines.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not a palm reader whatsoever. Okay.
Disclaimer on that.
Yes. I just like to do I Ching.
This is fascinating. Yeah, I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in I Ching by any sort either. I just have...
And what I like about it, too, is that it's not a rushed process. You have to do the meditation thing.
Yeah,
you
I
have
like
to,
taking my time
like,
with
it's
it.
very... It makes it feel more real in a way. That you're not just, like, flipping cards over.
Yeah. I agree, because, like, I don't know, personally, when I do the process, like... I don't just sit there and then flip them over. Like, I'm thinking and I'm doing kind of meditative process, like workshops sort of things in my mind. Like, yeah. Cool. And I really do. Yeah. It's best to take your time and really be like in that zone before you start. Like,
exactly. So we're getting back in.
So now we'll get back in the zone.
But
we talked a bit and got excited, but we'll get calm again. So next question. What would be the best way for Sarah to attract a romantic connection? Right, so let's do a little bit of meditating and breathing. I thought it was very interesting. We've got exact same bottom trigram on this result as in the last result.
Really?
The 3 broken lines of the earth on the bottom.
Damn.
Same. And it's the 3 unchanging lines. So that's something interesting.
That's so
I don't know
cool.
what that means, but let's figure it out in a minute here. And then we have broken, and solid. So you've got actually all broken lines and then 1 solid line on the top. So, what does that mean?
What does it mean?
Gun and Ken. Gun, Ken. And it's number 23. And number 23, I just take a look at it there. It's interesting. This one's not as positive as the last one.
Oh, no, what is it?
Disintegration. Let's take a little read.
Oh, I don't mean to laugh.
You've got 2 changing lines in there as well. Okay. I'm just going to read it. Just to read it out loud. Okay. The hexagram looks like an empty house. The roof and the walls may be there, but there's obviously nothing left inside, and it is only a matter of time before the structure collapses altogether. I'm so sorry. The only unbroken line is at the top, implying that there is a small element of strength left in the situation, but it has become so undermined that disintegration is inevitable. It is quite clear that in some sphere of your life, a phase is drawing to a close. This is not an abrupt or surprising situation. It is more cyclical. All things have their rise and fall, and this is the time when you must face the decline and the inevitable end. This is definitely not a good moment to undertake any new venture. The only thing to do here is sit still, keep quiet, and steer well clear of any rash or impulsive move, which would almost certainly spell disaster. So I think it's all about patience. Yeah, that sucked. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh my god. That sounds pretty bleak. But what I see it as, like it says, it's coming to the end. It's drawing things to a close. There's nothing more in the house. It's going to fall down. So now that just means, you brushed away the remains of the old house. You've got clear space for a new one to build.
And maybe that is,
So right now, in this moment, it's not the time to start. Apparently now is not the moment that it's going to happen for you.
Right.
Basically is what it's saying. You're just now, I don't know how long ago you just said you started getting your self-confidence and, not caring about what other people think about you.
It's fairly new.
Yeah. So that's pretty new.
Yeah.
You're just coming into getting to know yourself and loving yourself for who you are and everything. So, you got to work on that for a little bit first. And, you'll get to a point where you're so comfortable and just, you won't even worry about, oh, do I have a boyfriend or not?
That's very true.
I feel like,
I think I'm getting there.
Yeah, I feel like that's where you kind of have to be you know what? It doesn't matter if I have a boyfriend or not. I'm just gonna, have so much fun making my podcast and doing all the things I love to do and loving myself and having fun and enjoying my life.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you say, people will be attracted to that naturally. It's just that it's not something that happens overnight. I don't see anything wrong about, casual sex or whatever, but yeah, I think don't make any long-term commitments with anybody at this time. That's not the thing to be doing right now, clearly. I'm just going to reread it, see if there's any little things we can pick out, and then we'll do the changing line.
Yeah. I hope that yields something.
I'm curious.
Better.
Yeah, I think I'm wondering about those too. Well, kind of, what it said here, there is a sphere of your life, a phase that is drawing to a close. Can you think of something that might be, regarding your era of low self-esteem, maybe? Or
that's what came to mind for me.
Yeah.
That's what really came to mind for me. And the idea of, caring so much about what people think, wanting to change myself for people is something...
That's a pitfall. Oh, my God. Yeah.
It's something that I think I let go of, especially with the podcast, because I'm now... I'm creating... a voice in a way.
Yeah, you're expressing your own voice.
And it's me being fuck y'all, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah, you're gonna say what you think. If someone doesn't agree, well, they can just not listen to your podcast and go somewhere else. That's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
That's really what was the first thing that came to mind. Really the only thing I think of. I'm not really I'm not going through a breakup. There's nothing,
so
I don't know.
Just don't do anything rash or impulsive. Don't make any big decisions. Just keep it cool, keep it chill. Yeah, don't do anything crazy.
Disintegration.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Really fun.
I don't mean to laugh, but it really is one of the worst words that you could think of when describing your love life.
Yeah, possibly. In the last one, I actually realized I forgot to read the little whatever thing, but I'll read it. I'll go back and read it. But on this one, the 6 in the 4th place. It just says, I don't know exactly what these mean, but it just says this is the moment of crisis. There is no more that you can do. Whatever will happen will happen. You are impotent in the present circumstances and must bow to the inevitable. So right now, there's nothing you can do to affect the situation. 9 in the top. The danger has finally passed and your situation will grow stronger again, provided your wisdom and intelligence have prevailed over panic and rashness. The latter will only bring calamity. So don't panic or be rash and just be intelligent and calm and move forward and you'll be great. Good to go, apparently. So let's see what the changing hexagram is. According to that, 9 at the top was very positive. I liked that. And yeah, you've got your Earth at the bottom still. I still wonder what that means. I really would like to know if I knew more about I Ching. That might mean something.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. This one is number 16. So this one is sort of if things go the way...
If I don't make any impulsive decisions...
Enthusiasm.
Okay.
We're getting a positive one now.
That makes me happier.
That's better. Okay, let me just read enthusiasm, see what that one says. The top trigram is thunder, standing above the trigram of earth. Always earth. This denotes a time of enormous enthusiasm and inspirational creativity. The ancient Chinese saw this hexagram in terms of music that can be loud and powerful, yet very harmonious. At this time, you will have a natural ability to reflect and embody the prevailing feelings in a creative and interesting way. This could make you a focus of attention. You can rely on your instincts as they are especially responsive at present. You have an opportunity to generate an exceptional period of harmony because you can communicate your natural enthusiasm to anyone close to you. If you are spiritually inclined, you may use this stage in your life to contemplate the inherent order of the whole universe and so create a feeling of particular peace which will spread to others. So it sounds to me like you're on the verge of getting to a place where your self-confidence will only continue to grow and shine, your creativity will continue to grow and shine, and it will naturally show itself to others and attract others.
I'm really happy that we ended on that note.
We came around to a good place. I'm happy too. Yeah. Especially having this 9 changing line in the top that clearly said, like, the worst is over. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, yeah.
That is so cool.
That was cool. That was fun. Those ratings were fun, yeah.
That was really interesting.
I'm going to, just because I'm curious, I want to see what the Gathering one about the podcast said in the changing lines. We had 2 changing lines. And it was 9 in the 5th place, which said, you can overcome any mistrust that others might have by holding to a steady and principled line. Any deviation from this will allow rot to creep in. A lack of faith now would be dangerous in the extreme. Whatever the circumstances, keep doubt at bay. And then the 6th at the top says, you are seeking some form of affiliation that eludes you. Your own sadness may well turn the situation around because others will notice your sense of isolation and respond positively. Oh, that's nice. So if you are feeling a little bit doubtful about your podcast, maybe you can find other people to say, no, you can do it. Believe in yourself. And then,
I think that actually speaks volumes. Like that last one, because as whatever content creators in general, whether that be podcast, YouTube, blogging,
nowadays,
it could be anything. It could be creating art.
Yeah.
It's like you really have to rely on your friends to kind of help you. Yep. Whether that be encouraging you or sharing your stuff.
Yeah.
And
voting for you, whatever, or all these different things. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think if you're creating anything, you feel cagey sometimes. Like you don't want to ask for help. At least I feel that
like
way.
You're being selfish, kind of, or like
scared of self-promotion, scared of everyone's selling something. Everyone's selling lipstick and makeup and vitamins. Like everyone is selling something, but like when you're selling
yourself, kind of.
And
you're speaking to my personal fears, definitely right now. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna get to a point where I'll start putting my stuff out there sometime.
It's nerve-wracking. It's a really scary thing.
Yeah.
And when you don't...
The world is so judgmental, and it's just like the internet allows everyone to judge you instantly and let you know about it. Like, it's scary.
Well, that was great. Thanks so much, Hannah, for taking the time out of your day to do this.
This was so much fun.
It was really enlightening.
I'm really glad.
Especially the love life stuff.
I'm glad. Yeah, it helped. It's not all lost.
It's not all lost, even though you're a house. You're an empty house, Sarah. You're an empty, disintegrating house.
Oh my God. It's not you. It's the current situation.
It's the current situation, 100%.
Yeah.
But... thanks so much. And maybe if you ever want to come back on, let me know.
That would be a lot of fun.
I'm here. If there's something you want to talk about, you just let me know.
I feel like I have all kinds of interesting things, and this is something I don't even do a lot, so this is like a tiny part of my life.
100%. It's a tiny part of your life, but I'm always here if you want to come back on and chat about something. I always say to people, if you want to talk about something you're knowledgeable about that you think other people might want to know, or if you want to rant about something, or if you want to get something off your chest. Like, those are the two things that my guests usually fall into.
Yeah.
So
sounds great to me.
So thanks so much, and that'll be a wrap on this.
Thank you.
This special I Ching episode.
Lots of fun. Thank you.
Lots of fun. Thanks so much. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed learning all about the I Ching from Hannah. Now let's get to Kelly from Broom Closet Tarot.
So what I do
is that I will do two things. I'm not pulling runes today. For some reason, they're just not talking to me today, so I'm not doing the runes today. But I will do your life path number. Have you ever had that done before?
No.
I'm going to do your life path number. Hopefully tell you a little bit about it. My brain went freaky on me earlier today, so it's like, aw. But I'll do your life path number, and then we'll go straight into the cards.
Perfect. And question about the tarot.
Yes.
Is it regarding a certain question, or is it just kind of a general
It can be
reading?
both.
Okay.
So what, usually in a 15-minute reading, what I'll do is a general reading. Unless you have a specific question, then I can, I can delve right into that.
Yep.
But a general reading, I can get quite a bit in 15 minutes.
Perfect.
So
yeah, I would say general. Kind of with my I Ching reading, I kind of did the future of the podcast and what's going to happen with the podcast, and then I kind of wanted to get into love life stuff. So maybe if you could focus on that,
on love life,
yeah,
you can do that. And so that's your job. When I give you the cards, I'll ask you to shuffle and
you think about it.
What you're thinking about. Sometimes the cards will show up something different. It means that deep down you were thinking about something else, or something else is more important. Mm-hmm. So that happens sometimes. Mm-hmm. So first thing I'm going to do is get your birth date.
It is March 5th.
Another March, baby. Yes.
1987.
1987. That's awesome. More
Pisces.
Yeah. I'm a Piscean too.
I'm an Aries rising too. I found out yesterday.
Are you Aries rising? Oh, okay. I'm a Sagittarius rising.
Ooh.
Okay, Taurus moon. I do some astrology. I'm still only at a level 1, but trying to get
I love it. I'm so into it.
Awesome. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I'm laughing my head off. Okay. So your life path number is the number 6.
Okay.
Which is the Lovers.
No way.
Interestingly enough about the Lovers card as a life path, though. And there's a lot about it, but in brief, somebody who has the number 6 as the Lovers, they actually understand how relationships work. They have a real keen understanding of how things relate to one another, including people, including animals, it's just a really, it's a really nice sign for that balance of understanding. Mm-hmm. The problem that I have seen with people who have the number 6 in the Lovers card is that personal relationships tend to be a bit of a problem because they do understand how relationships would work and not everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo?
I would say so.
Yeah. So that said, you've got a great gift.
Yeah.
You've got a really great gift, and you've got a really great gift at putting things together and really understanding. Like you can probably, and in your job or in your daily life, be able to understand relationally, how other people wouldn't quite understand how things would fit together. And you can go, yeah, you do this and this, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. But that's your ability.
Cool.
So
well, it's kind of cool because on the podcast, I actually talk to a lot of couples.
Do you?
It's kind of one of my favorite podcasts. Like, I usually take a couple that I know and I sit down and I talk about their relationship and stuff.
Ooh, isn't that nice?
That's given me a lot of understanding of relationships and stuff like that. But I love hearing about, different relationships and how they work, how they don't work, how they started.
So let's see how yours is going to go.
Nervous.
All right. I did my oil yet. Okay.
They're big cards.
They are huge, so I usually shuffle them up this way. But I have a smaller deck with me, but I like the bigger deck simply because I just like being able to read it better.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take the cards and shuffle them, and I want you to think about asking for guidance for the specific issue, whether, Okay. So I want you to take your left hand, and I want you to make 3 piles to the left. Then I want you to stack them back up with whichever pile you think belongs on the top. Ooh, okay. All right, so from that alone, what I have deduced is that there's some part of you that's stuck in the past. There's a little bit of something that's going on there, that you're a little bit stuck in the past. All right. So, okay. So the theme of the year for you is change.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but this change is all about physical change. job, home, that sort of stuff. It's the physical stuff, which could also mean relationships, right? Because that's, that is mental, emotional, and spiritual too, but it could mean that. So let's see what's crossing over that. Controlling. All right. So what I see here, this is the Prince of Swords. And what I see here is this is crossing your ability to change. And it almost feels like there's a controlling issue here. You've got all of your ducks in a row, and you like to have all of your ducks in a row, but you kind of feel like the shoe's going to drop sometimes. And so you're like holding in the image, the Prince of Swords, he's holding a sword behind him at the ready, as if, this isn't going to go the way I want to. I'm going to, strike. So it's a little bit of a control issue. It's that, change is great. I want to change, but I need to control the change.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So definitely getting that. So in the past, there has been, this is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands indicates definitely some strife and some issue with regards to your personal will, like who you want to be, what you want to do. And this is in the past. So this has been an area of you haven't felt that you've been able to do what you want. Something's been holding you back. And that's been really deep into the emotions for you, quite a bit on that. All right. Okay. So that said, right beside you right now, that's the Eight of Swords. And the swords are about the mental. And as I said, with the Prince of Swords, where you were being controlling, there's also some interference right now. So there's some forces that are out there that are saying, no, you really shouldn't do it that way. You really should go this way. This is what needs to be done. And, but you're a lover. That was a little scary.
Hopefully that wasn't the spirit guides interfering with us.
Just a hater. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, quite frightening. Look, interference.
I know, right? That's funny.
Well, that was really funny because we're talking about interference, and there was it's almost like a white noise interference.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that was a sign. That was a sign. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you to the electronic device.
We hear ya.
We hear ya. It is a white noise interference. It's kind of this constant. You know better than to let that interfere with you. Okay?
Yeah.
Remember who you are. And you see relationships where other people don't. You see things that work together that other people don't. So other people are saying, that won't work. That's not the way it's supposed to go. That's not the way you're supposed to live. That's not the way you're supposed to work. Well, you know different. Okay? And do you ever know different? And okay, so here is your knight in shining armor.
Knight of Swords.
It's the Knight of Swords. I love this guy. He's up in the clouds, but he's headed down, right? So this one is mentally, I would put this in relation to what your emotions are, but dead set you were talking about romance, and dead set this is somebody else. This is coming up to you within the next birthday time. Around your birthday. Want a birthday gift?
A man? Oh, sure.
A man, yeah. But it's somebody who, like I said, to all appearances seems to be up in the clouds and has a lot of lofty ideas, but is really ambitious and really knows how to go what they want, knows how to get what they want.
Interesting.
Right?
Cool.
So that's definitely coming up into your future. For some reason, I'm being told to say that there's also going to be some travel your way. Okay, predictory there it goes. I wasn't planning to do it, but there's some travel, and I'm going to say it's around your birthday between March and April that there's some travel on a plane. I'm seeing a plane because I'm seeing it in the air. So definitely a travel, and maybe that's where you meet Mr. Wonderful. I'm not sure, but definitely some travel. Yes. Exciting. Oh, seriously? So you get the number 2 of Cups, which is the love card. So what does that mean? We're going to have some mile-high romance.
I'll take it.
Yeah. No, that's a really good card because that's all like the Cups and the Love card is all about understanding again the relationships and how two unite as one and can fill up both cups full of, the emotions that we need, the love that we need. I think that's, again, understanding relationships. I think you're finally coming in, what I'm seeing is that you're finally coming into a period of, you're going to get over that interference, that white noise. That white noise of people going, you shouldn't.
Right.
And some of that's in your own head. Some of that's the tapes that happen there that are usually somebody else's, but they got embedded in your head for some reason.
Interesting.
Right? Interesting. Oh, well. All right. I would like to take this card away, but I can't. This is the Seven of Discs. Now, this is an overarching view. Yes, the card says failure. But what I'm hearing and what I see from the card myself right now is that it's not necessarily about, an overarching failure that things are going to end. It's about having eyes in the back of your head. It's about being able to, I always tend to see these, I know they're not owls, but it tends to me look like an owl.
It does.
And it's very much like feeling like there are forces out there that are not helping you in the physical realm. So it's almost like you feel like you have to watch your back all over the place. Again, it comes to that controlling thing, right? I'm going to pull up ahead of that because that doesn't mean the whole thing's going to fail. Mm-hmm. All right? Right. So this is the card about how other people perceive you or see you. And actually what this is the balance card. This is about adjustment and balance, and this is about living in a really nice balance. So I'm seeing that there's a possibility that people close to you do see you as a little bit in a period of adjustment, but that they generally see you as very balanced, that's nice to know.
That's good to know.
That's lovely to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your hopes and your fears, and you come up with the Devil card for your hopes and fears. But to me, the devil card is about balancing masculine and feminine. It's about, again, balancing the relationships of the shadow side and the light side. Mm-hmm. It's about taking all that with a grain of salt and with laughter and with mirth. Definitely with mirth, right? Yeah. So I think you kind of have, in the hopes and fears department, what I'm seeing is that you're kind of not sure you always take things so seriously, and maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. But I think you have this I kind of see this not sure how to balance. It's funny that people see you balanced, but you're not, you have a fear that you don't know how to balance things very well. The funny thing is you do. Mm-hmm. Innately, you do.
I love your reactions. I love her reactions when she turns over the cards. It's my favorite part.
I shouldn't do that. But I give it away.
I know, it's great.
I give it away. So what comes up as the final outcome is the Lovers. So through all that, so there's going to be, are you in a current relationship right now?
I'm not.
Because what messages I'm getting is this card is all about something that you have your eyes on right now, which isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
This will work.
Right.
I'm wondering if I can get, I usually pull two up here. I'll give you a few more minutes. I usually pull up two up here. But what I will do is kind of ask if there's any idea, if we have any knowledge of who this person is, except for the fact that he's freaking successful.
This is the future guy or the current guy?
This is the future guy.
Future guy.
This is March, April guy.
Ah.
Okay. So what I'm seeing here, and you've got, there's a whole, you're definitely in for a really good year on that side of it. Yeah, you're really in. Let go of the control a little bit. Don't worry about having to be on arm,
on guard.
On guard, that's the word, all the time. That white noise, turn it off. like I just did.
Literally turn it off.
Literally turn it off, because that's what's happening. I know that interference is all that white noise, right? And you get what I mean by that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So this card, which is the 6 of discs or pentacles, is the success card, right? The only thing it tells me about the person is that it's that he's a successful person, possibly a Taurus, very possibly a Taurus or a Taurus moon. Either or.
Those friggin' Tauruses. My ex is a Taurus.
Oh, is he a Taurus? Oh.
My ex from like a long time ago.
Yes.
I don't know why I end up with Tauruses all the time.
There may be a reason for the fact that you end up with a Taurus, and you might want to think about that. Do you need because they're kind of noble. Funny that. They're kind of noble, but they're direct and organized types of people, and generally a lot of the time very successful too, so that goes without saying. But definitely I'm seeing Taurus in there, Taurus moon or Taurus sun, but I think I'm seeing moon. But yes, that's about all I get about that. Otherwise, the fact that this person is very successful in the physical realms, which is fantastic.
Like he's hot,
money,
whatever,
like job, car, place kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like somebody who's got his feet on the ground and understands this plane.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really good. Okay, last card. All right, so this is the 8 of Wands. This one is about taking focus, so making sure you have your central focus, which I think for the year is going to be about clearing off a lot of the interference, a lot of the white noise, a lot of the stuff that you don't need to have anymore. But then focusing on, no, I want to be the best me I can be. I want to be able to invite love and romance into my life. So I'm going to keep that as my central focus. Let my energies go out so other people can feel it. But it's still a central focus, and it's a very positive, it's very positive, and it's all about your divine will. It's about knowing who you are.
Right.
And I think this is your year for that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good... I was expecting the worst negative outcome of this reading. And
you have the one card... You have two cards that are negative. Yeah. One's in your past, and this one I think is kind of what's happening currently, and I don't think that is going to work out very well. And it's just not.
Yeah.
Right. But again, March and April. Somewhere in that point, there's going to be for some reason, I'm being told you're meeting them on a plane or in an airport or something like that. But and I'm predicting a trip. So there I predicted on podcast.
There we go. I thought we'll do a follow-up episode in May. Maybe.
Yeah, do it after your birthday and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Well, this was great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And what was your name again? Kelly. Thanks so much, Kelly. And Kelly's here at Broom Closet Tarot on Queen Street. I'll make sure to link to your guys' Facebook page.
Yes, we're part of the Neighbourhood Witch General Store, which is expanding. Yay! We're getting bigger and more readers
fantastic.
And more stuff. So
and it's a little place, but it's really, really cool. Like it puts you in the mood for a tarot reading. Being
excellent.
In here.
I love being in here. This is my color. My living room's this color.
It's a good little recording space.
Oh yeah,
it's a little recording studio.
Podcast in here.
Yeah, do it.
It's awesome.
Well, thanks so much.
So, thank you.
Yeah, that was great.